Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog. We discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It is a brutally windy day today. It's tree snapping, fence knocking down type wind. It's about 40 to 45 mile an hour gusts today, which is super extreme for the UK, so not great running conditions. Makes you feel pretty chilly as well. And it is a Thursday Tales today. We talk about past experiences in business, and today's topic is HMRC tax fraud scams. Okay, so as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So, HMRC, for those in the UK, will know it's Majesty's Revenue and Customs. It's basically the tax man. Okay, and obviously the tax man has taken a huge hit as we've been through this global pandemic that is COVID, and there's a lot of tax scams going about now that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And the reason for this episode, I was actually going to do I was going to go a deep dive on my block of flats today, but because this happened to me just yesterday, I thought it was really relevant to try and communicate this with certainly people in the UK, but I'm sure there'll be similar things going on around the world with relevant tax departments. And it's scary. The sophistication now of tax fraud scams are unbelievable. And I'll talk you through what happened. And to put it in perspective, I was seconds away from transferring £3,000 to a phony account in order to protect my freedom, if you like. Because how it happens is you get this automated message, which sounds very professional, very well spoken, and it's basically, hi, this is the HMRC tax office or whatever, I can't remember the exact details, and I'm a fraud investigator, this is my name, this is my badge number, all in an automated message, and they mention your name in it as well, so you think, blimey, your name's in an automated message, and they reference tax fraud. Instantly you think, whoa, that's serious, and that you need to call this number back, and they give you a number which is almost identical to the tax office number in the same format, so it's a 0300 number, so it seems all very much above board. So inevitably you don't ignore stuff like that, because they also state in the message that there's a criminal case pending, and that it hasn't reached that stage yet, but you need to call up to discuss it. So it's stressing the importance and the urgency and the severity of what's going on, but it doesn't make it too aggressive. Okay, so it's enough to put the fear into you and think, wow, what have I done? So you know to be called the number back. Now when you call the number back, it sounds just like you're talking to someone in HMRC office. It sounds like an office environment, not hugely loud because obviously COVID, etc. I imagine it sounds like the ambience of a very limited capacity office, if you like, which you'd expect to be the situation, people working from home or people working in more spaced out environments in office space. And the person you speak to comes across extremely knowledgeable. Okay, so they're explaining the process, they're reading the kind of terms, they're going through your personal information. Now they also had enough personal information about me for me to think at the time, this isn't a scam. No way would they know this information about me, and gets you thinking. So they're then talking you through your kind of rights, and this is the stage of the case, this is what's been found, this is the amount you owe, these are the options. It's all really, really kind of convincing. And you know how they do, this call's being recorded, and they, when you sign up to something and you get the terms and conditions read to you, all of that stuff was kind of happening. So, which was all kind of reinforcing the severity and the reality of the situation. So what transpired is that between the years of 2014, 2019, it should have been a giveaway because it was too wide a period of time, they'd found discrepancies in my tax returns and to the value of £2,985. Okay, so instantly my reaction was, and look, £3,000 is a lot of money, however you slice and dice it, but to me it's like, I'll pay it, just the sanity that I'm going to be safe, I'm not going to be arrested, I'm going to clear my name, which is hugely important to me. So that's what went through my mind at that stage. If you choose to fight this, you can go take legal advice, it's no problem, and you'll receive a pack of information tomorrow with 4 documents. He taught me through the 4 documents as well, which made it super realistic in that, you know, I'd have to be represented in court, I need legal advice, and the success rate that HMRC has in disputed cases is like 98%. So instantly you're thinking, well, I'm going to get a load of legal fees, and they're going to put all their legal fees on top, and what was started off as a £3,000 payment could end up being, you know, tens of thousands when you put legal costs into play. So instantly you're thinking, oh, I've got to go with the out of court settlement here. And then you get to the stage where he's then got to get things approved to make an offer to me by his legal superior. So and they play on your honesty card, the fact that you haven't had any history of tax fraud or any history of disputes with not paying non-payment of tax, all that side of things. They kind of give you a bell because you're being honest and cooperative. Our legal supervisor has agreed to give you these terms. So you're thinking, oh great, and then you're going, well, I'm assuming now that if I pay this, I'm not going to get a criminal record, and they confirm that is the case, and they confirm that even if you dispute this, you won't get a criminal record unless you lose the case, and it's like, oh my word. So you're thinking here, and then it gets to the stage, and the only reason I pulled this the last minute, I mean, bear in mind I'd been on the call here for about an hour, okay, and they're talking you through the process, and I scrutinised him at the beginning that, you know, I've heard there's a lot of tax scams around, and he managed to say, well look, I'll show you, I'll call you from the tax office number. So he actually then walked me through the gov.uk website, through the process of the contact us numbers, and then he called me from the number that was on the HMRC website. So instantly you think, wow, this is real, this is serious stuff. And so then we got to the stage where the payment needed to be made today, and I said, well, I thought, well, I need some time to research this further. So I said, I just need to move some money around. So he said, if the phone gets cut off, this is at the stage of the case it's at now. That would be considered as a offer as declined. And I thought, again, that was a bit fishy, which is why I wanted to do more kind of due diligence on this. So I just said, look, stay on the phone, I just need to move some money around, because he confirmed it had to come from one account in my name, so I used that as a reason to get kind of 10 minutes of exploring on the internet. I couldn't find anything that was directly related to this type of scam. There's lots of email scams and text messaging scams which are so obvious to pick up, but this was different level. And so anyway, as I came back to him, I said, look, okay, let's proceed to make the payment. So I had my online banking on my computer, fortunately not on my phone, because they could have been hacking my phone of any such nature. But I got to the stage where I was punching in the payee details, and everything was kosher. I mean, it was an HMRC bank account, or what appeared to be. But then when you type the sort code in, and the bank came up as Monzo. Now, any of you that know business banks, HMRC are going to be banking with Lloyds or Barclays or NatWest, one of the big boys, HSBC maybe. And Monzo is like a pop-up bank that you can set up an account in like a minute, and you can do personal and business accounts, and it is a kosher bank, but no way in a million years would HMRC bank with Monzo. So instantly there I knew. I said, look, I'd already had the money punched in. I was putting the pay details in, £2,985. HMRC, I can't remember what it was some tax account it all seemed pretty kosher. And it's only the benefit that the bank accounts now online, they have a check on the account. So when you put a sort code in, it will tell you which bank it's with. If that hadn't have been there, I would have paid the best part of £3,000 to clear my name. Now, when that happened, I said, look guys, I'm pretty adamant here that HMRC aren't going to be using a Monzo bank account. I said, I need to check. I said, look, just for clarity, I'm going to call HMRC now, and I'm going to check that my file, where the balance is outstanding on my file. You stay on hold, so I'm not ending the call, and it'll take me as long as it takes to get through to HMRC, and then I'll call you straight back, or not call you straight back, you'll be on hold, so I'll switch the phone over, and if it's all above board, I'll make the payment, no problem. And I thought here, he'd obviously be a bit more aggressive or a bit more pushy. He was absolutely fine, he played it very cool. He says, no, sir, I appreciate your concerns, it's completely your right to do so, but I do have lots of other people to call, so I'll give you like 5 or 10 minutes. I think he knew full and well that it would take probably an hour to get through to HMRC, and it did. And he says, but I have to state that if you haven't come back to me within 10 minutes maximum, I'll have to terminate the call, because I have a number of other calls I have to make today, and as you can appreciate, they all take a significant amount of time to do. And he was very professional, very low key about it, which again scared me a little bit. But fortunately I made that call, because it took me an hour. I saw the call drop after 10 minutes when I kept this guy on hold. It took me an hour to get through to HMRC, and it was then when I spoke to the representative at HMRC that he said 100% it's a scam. He said, one, HMRC never send out automated messages to you on the phone. Secondly, HMRC will never call you unless it's calling you back or it's pre-arranged, and this wasn't that case. So he said, we always email you or send information out in the post. So, and he said they're getting extremely sophisticated now, more than ever before, because normally scams are pretty easy to pull apart. This was very professionally done, so much so that the single guy I spoke to in HMRC had 9 other people that day. This was about 3:30 in the afternoon yesterday. He'd already had 9 people he'd spoken to that day who had been involved in that scam situation and had paid money across. So it just goes to show how convincing these guys are. And rumour has it that they go after people who are elderly, vulnerable. How they get this data, I have no idea. Or people who have multiple companies because of a kind of a complex tax structure. So that they've got people who it's going to be easier to convince than, Mr. Smith, who has an employed position. That's all he does, and he gets paid, and his taxes get automatically deducted. They don't go after those. They go after the elderly, where pension elements comes into play. The vulnerable, where benefit side of things comes into play, and they'll go for entrepreneurs with multiple businesses, because complex tax structures are normally in play there, and they'll play on that. So the lessons from this episode is trust your gut. Okay, I was potentially facing a court date and a criminal record, but I just felt it didn't seem right, and it took every ounce of bravery to call that guy's bluff, because he was incredibly convincing. When they can call you, they can mask their phone to be calling you from the HMRC contact number. You have no reason to believe. He was giving me his HMRC badge number, his name. I did try and search them up online as well at the time, but because he had me on the phone, I couldn't do anything comprehensive enough to prove that was a hoax name or a hoax badge number or whatever. But fortunately, the fact that it pulled up as a Monzo account was key. And then it just so happens that after the call, whilst I was on hold and I was doing my due diligence, I found an article from the Financial Times where it was somebody explaining the exact same process that they'd been through. Unfortunately, they'd managed to avoid it as well. But this was somebody who was an immigrant who'd come from another country. So again, targeted for different reasons, but areas where there could be tax complexities that could be exploited. So be brave. If something doesn't seem right, always check it out. Most of these big creditors, if you owe them money, are never going to, stronghold you into making a payment there and then. They'll allow you, you pay it later or pay it today, but you have to agree something with them, but they very rarely stronghold you. And anything like HMRC, they're going to allow you the time to check that it's kosher and not sometimes a tax fraud scam. So apparently there's been over 1 million people hit with this scam already, and if 9 people had already been duped just transferring money, shows it in a single day to one person. So think how many other HMRC call centre representatives would have a similar number of people. So it's scary. So if you do get an automated message with your details on it from HMRC, it is 100% a scam. Don't even call them back. If you call them back, I reckon the conversion rate from people who call back is really, really high. So trust your gut, do your due diligence before you hand over any money, and don't get caught out by this. So hope that's useful. Hopefully that saves somebody. Morning. Hopefully that saves somebody falling for that incredibly sophisticated tax scam that I like to think of myself as relatively streetwise and been around long enough now, enough experience in business to see these things, these schemes, but that one nearly caught me out, very nearly. So I'm not saying that I'm uncatchable, because that's completely, I've been duped enough in my time, but I'm a lot more cautious than I used to be. A few years ago that would have done me. So trust your gut, trust your instincts. So as always, if you like this episode, give it a like and a subscribe. If you've got any questions, drop me a comment, I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll respond, but I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. If this is not relevant for you, no drama, just unfollow me. Before you do that, do check out the link in my bios. We're just about to launch a podcast and blog to accompany the vlog, so I do different topics every day. So if something's not relevant today, hopefully tomorrow or the day after the topic will be very relevant. And we're now giving you the ability to watch, listen or read my content. So hopefully it fits with your preferred way of absorbing content. So all that's left to say is that the Runpreneur vlog, it's so windy, guys. I can't stress how windy it is today. All that's left to say is the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release valve to relieve those daily, weekly pressures in the form of stress, release them from your mind, process them, get clarity on what's going on and focus so you can continue to move forward. I think if you don't have that release valve, it doesn't have to be exercise or running, it can be meditating, it can be reading, it can be whatever it takes to clear your head on a regular basis, whether it's daily or a few times a week. That pressure in the form of stress builds up like pressure in a pipe, and if it builds up too high, it turns into overwhelm. Once you get overwhelmed, you start struggling with entrepreneurial freeze and procrastination, where nothing gets done because you've got too much going on in your head, and before you know it, you're into the world of anxiety and anxiety attacks, and that's then in the realms of mental health challenges, which, oh my word, look, this is so windy. I'm barely moving and I'm running. But anyway, I've been in situations where this stuff has affected me so much so I've lost businesses, I've lost business partners, and I've almost been bankrupt. And it's no coincidence that in the last 9 months since doing this run vlog, oh sorry, this is so windy, I've made more progress in the last 9 months than I have done in the previous 4 years. So hopefully there's enough social proof there that this stuff really works. So my pledge to you, if you are someone struggling with these issues, drop me a message. There's no catch here. We'll arrange a quick call. I'll give you a few hints and tips of things that, sorry, needs must. I'm getting blown in my face so much. I had to blow my nose, so sorry. Oh my word, this is so tiring. It's like running against the wall. But anyway, we'll jump on a call. We'll give you some hints and tips that I'm 100% certain will be transferable across into your daily routines or weekly routines, and we'll get you back on the right path. And there's no charge, no catch. As I always said, that this vlog just helps one entrepreneur or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So on that point, all that's left to say is that if you like this episode, give it a like, comment and a subscribe. If you want to see similar content, check out the playlist link. And all that's left to say is stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.